Greetings and welcome to Computerized Accounting. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mary Bryson and I'm an adjunct professor here at Helena College. My background? Well, I am retired from state government, and since my official retirement many years ago, I periodically teach accounting classes at the college. I've also used all of the software that we will be learning about in this class. Sometimes I use QuickBooks Desktop, and currently I use QuickBooks Online in my work. I am familiar with Sage 50, although I have not used it in the workplace. So, what is computerized accounting? Well, let's talk about that a little bit. With the advent of computers, well before your time, I'm sure, accountants at all levels determined that we should automate the recording of our transactions. It simplifies our reporting by categorizing and summarizing the data that we enter. Computerized accounting does require us to do a lot of data entry, but I'm getting ahead of myself. If I think about computerized accounting versus manual accounting, well, what does that look like? Most of you are familiar with manual accounting as you have taken Accounting 101. You're familiar with the manual recording of transactions, the writing of checks, the posting to the various journals and the ledgers. In accounting, we record a lot of transactions, and using pencil and paper to do that takes a lot of time. Does the recording of that information change significantly in a computerized system? Well, you have all studied the 9-step accounting cycle, and if we move to automating the cycle, does it stay the same? Well, I submit that there are some differences. We still need to analyze our transactions. We need to enter those transactions into the system. And whether we enter them into the general journal, the sales journal, the purchase journal, cash receipts, or cash disbursements, we have to enter them somewhere. Do we maintain a bank register like a checkbook? What does that look like, especially in a computerized system? Well, in a computerized system, if we are just entering these transactions, we might only see one side of that transaction. For example, we might write a check, and if we're writing a check manually and in a computerized system, it might look the same. But where does the information from that check go? It's no longer paper and pencil. It's now inside the computer. How do we account for both sides of that transactions? The cash entry and the expense or liability side of the entry. Do we have double entry accounting? Are we going to see both sides in our computerized accounting? And where might we go to look to see both sides? Doesn't the entry have to balance? For example, don't debits always equal credits? Isn't that right? Well, there's a lot of activity in the computerized system that happens in the background or behind the scenes. So we'll see more of those differences as we go along. I think you might find some difficulty in a computerized system in this various software of locating the actual journals and the ledgers that we're familiar with seeing in a manual system. Each of the software packages that we'll review in this class looks and feels different, but the basics are all the same. They all contain lists of some sort, whether it's a customer list or a vendor list. They have different forms, whether it's a purchase order or a sales receipt. They do maintain registers, and they do have reports. So we'll see those differences as we use the software. Well, this is a Moodle course, and it is an online course. If you found this file and you're reviewing it, you've been to the Moodle homepage. Let's take a look at that right now. So here's our Moodle homepage, Accounting 205 Computerized Accounting. And you'll see that I've set up the course by week. Down the left side here, we've got each week. Your assignments, your projects, your exams, the learning aids, all of those will be included in the appropriate week. I've uploaded the course syllabus. It's down here at the bottom of the information page. computerized accounting syllabus. And I recommend that you read through the syllabus carefully. It contains a lot of important information, including the grading scale. Let's take a look real quick at that. The grading scale is on page 4. You can see there are tests, exercises, online quizzes, a paper, and 3 projects. There's 730 points available, and it's very important for you to work through the assignments each week and keep up in the course, because these points add up quickly, and it's easy to get an A if that's what you're shooting for, just by completing the work. So let's go to the course schedule that's at the end of the syllabus. Oops. Going to go through that pretty quickly here to get to the end of the syllabus here. Please note that I've set up each week on the left-hand side. So this is the week starting on January 14th. That's probably today for you. And so each subsequent week is set up here in this left-hand column. Next to that is the chapter work. So what chapter will we be working in that week? The work that is due, the date that it's due, and what is actually due for that particular assignment for that particular week. As you can see, for most of these exercises, I'm only asking you to submit 1 or 2 of the required reports. For example, if we look at exercise 4.1 and 4.2, which is due on February 7th, I'm only looking for the December journal. So you only need to upload the December journal for that particular assignment. Please don't submit all of the reports that the book requires in the exercise. As an aside, please note that on the very last page of your syllabus here, I've included the requirements for the various projects. Project 1 is the QuickBooks Desktop project. These are the reports and the information that I'm asking you to submit. Project 2 is for the Sage 50 Desktop 2017 software. These are the reports and the information that I'm asking you to submit. And then Project 3 is for QuickBooks Online 2018. This is the information that you'll be required to submit. I may change this page, so make sure you check for any announcements when you get ready to submit your projects. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. So let's just talk a little bit about these different software packages. There are 2 textbooks associated with the class. For QuickBooks Desktop Software 2018, we'll use the Computer Accounting Essentials with QuickBooks 2018. This is our first textbook. The second textbook is related to the Sage 50 software. This is a selection of specific chapters from the official Sage 50 textbook that was used when the computerized accounting class only included teaching Sage 50. The college has determined that it is better to expose you to more than one specific accounting software. So since we're covering 3 software packages, we've condensed what we will cover in the Sage 50 software. We're covering the 3 most commonly used software packages used here in Helena by small business. For the QuickBooks Online portion of the class, we did not get that textbook. It covers the same material as you will see in the other text, and it is not summarized very well. It is also a comprehensive course all by itself, so we'll be taking excerpts from that text. And by the time we get to QuickBooks Online portion, you will be familiar with the different kinds of transactions and the different ways to enter it in the previous two softwares. So although QuickBooks Online looks and feels different, the transactions are the same. We do a lot of the same types of transactions in each of these softwares, and we'll be looking at primarily merchandising businesses and how they complete their sales and their purchases and how they track their inventory. That's the primary focus of the class. If we have the opportunity to look at payroll, we might do that when we look at QuickBooks Online. Each of the software packages looks and feels different. You will see some similarities between QuickBooks Desktop and Sage 50 Desktop. I know you find that a little hard to believe, but that's where the similarities lie. But QuickBooks Online, well, it's different. The look and feel of it is different. It is a cloud-based package. Since these are accounting software packages, they do the same basic things. You will see perhaps in Sage that we see it might truly be a double entry system. We might see both the debit and the credit sides of the transaction when we enter it. Whereas in QuickBooks, we won't see both sides of the transactions unless we're actually entering a general journal transaction, which we will be doing. Please know that the software is free to you as a student, and it will be available for the entire term. We shouldn't run into a situation where you're completing your homework and all of a sudden you find out that the software has expired and you're not able to use it anymore. So that concludes my introduction and welcome to computerized accounting. So here's my contact information for when and if you need to contact me. My name is Mary Bryson. I'm your instructor. My email is mary.bryson@helenacollege.edu. Please note that previously the Moodle email address was incorrect. This should be the correct address. Email me with questions. I do intend to try and answer your emails within 24 hours. But I do work and I have some personal things that are happening that are taking a priority, and they keep me busy. I won't be reading emails over the weekend, so anything you send late on a Friday, I won't see until Monday. If you need to get an appointment with me, please contact me through email. I do work outside of the college, but my schedule is real flexible if we need to meet on campus. I am focused on making sure that we get through this material in a positive way and you are adequately exposed to the computerized accounting software. What I can say for now is thanks for your time. Let's get started with the computerized accounting. Let's go back to that home page and get started with your activities that are located here. I will open each week before the start of the week, so you will have access to the information as it comes available to you. Thanks again, and let's get going.